with the Maryland Open Meetings Act to ensure transparency, public access to the proceedings. All attendees are considered to have consented to being recorded by participating in this meeting. Again, good morning. I'm Hans Schmidt, Assistant Secretary here for Resource Conservation at MDA. I assume maybe that everybody has had a chance to listen to the recorded minutes from the last meeting. We do need to have an approval for those minutes.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes as presented.
Have a second?
Second.
Second. Do I have anybody object to the recordings or the acceptance of the recordings? Hearing not, the minutes stand approved as recorded. Next, we'll go into the committee discussions. The first on the agenda is the Sunday hunting recommendations from the stakeholder work groups. My understanding is Paul Pedito is not on the call, and I don't see anybody from DNR on the call. So I guess we will move on to the next.
We can move on. Cassie, do you have any input from the discussions as the MDA rep on that?
No, not much to update. There was the second stakeholder meeting held the day after our buy local cookout. So that was last month. And I don't believe there was really any consensus at that meeting. So it sounds like DNR is working on some things internally. But no, I don't have any more to add.
Okay. Joanne, can you talk a little bit about Farm Bureau's role in this, and if there's been any perspective from Farm Bureau as you look at the Sunday hunting potential bill?
So we are still in the process. Basically anything I would say now would be based on current policy. We're in the process, of course, of working on updating policy, which we did in the first weekend in December. As it stands right now, Farm Bureau would be supporting the bill. I'm not sure if there may be a piece or two that might be in question, but overall we would be supporting it. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Well, moving on to the next bullet item for discussion is the CAFO permitting updates. And this is going to be a quick meeting, I can tell. I don't see anybody from MDE on here. I will say this. MDA Secretary Addix and I have had conversations with the new Region 3 EPA administrator. EPA does have the draft CAFO language sitting in hand. They are going to do their best to review those that language. They have up to 90 days. The administrator said that they will work as quickly and with as much due diligence as they can to get through that in shorter time. But just to let you know that MDE is reviewing those permits, and hopefully there won't be a lot of changes and so forth. That if once they get through that language, then and get through their approval process, then it'll go out for public comments. And I would guess maybe, hopefully, sometime this fall we'll have a new permit. But again, at this stage of the game, EPA is reviewing that language. So, any other comments on the draft CAFO? And then the last thing I see is leasing agreements again at DNR. But nobody from DNR is here, so
Move right along.
what's that?
So we can move right along.
We'll move right on. New business. Anybody have new business for this committee? No? Old business?
So Rick Kessler just reached out asking for a meeting link. He offered to give a quick update on the draft CAFO permit if you want to invite him.
Oh, yeah. So If you wait momentarily, Rick Kessler from MDE he's going to join us in a second here, and he can give us an EPA or a CAFO permit update. Other items you like?
No other new business to bring up today. I think it does stand as a reminder to the committee, if you're seeing things that should be brought to GICA for discussion or worked through in the subcommittee. No topic is too small. I know that in the next meeting, we'll be talking about the SDAT impacts on reassessment of agricultural buildings and a handful of other pieces within value-added ag that are impacting the state. So it's a great time to workshop challenges, successes, and different ideas coming about within the industry. So, the option is always available for both our agency partners and then the appointed members as well, to continue that conversation.
While we're waiting on Rick, I don't want to put Nancy on the spot here, but I might. Since she's right there. Nancy, could you give us, this is the Environment and Natural Resources Subcommittee. Could you give maybe the group here kind of a little bit of an update on the report that the Hughes Center is working on, the climate report? You're on mute or something's. Nancy, you're on mute or something. Your audio is not working. Yes, your audio. You may have to close out and come back. I don't see your mute button. Still not working. Sorry. Maybe while you're working on that, I see Rick has joined us. Rick is with MDE, and Rick, maybe you could give the group here a little bit of an update on the CAFO permit discussion.
Sure, happy to do that. Hi, all. Rick Kessler, I'm the Director of the Land and Materials Administration, which houses MDE's AFO program. I don't know that there's a whole heck of a lot of an update, but as some folks here know, as everyone knows, the 19AF permit expired July 7th. We have developed a draft 25AF permit that has been sent to EPA. It's been with them for about 2 weeks, and it must undergo their review before we can share the draft with the public and go to public comment on the new permit draft. The Secretary McElwain has personally spoken with the Region 3 administrator earlier, I guess it was late last week, at the end of last week, about the importance of the new permit moving forward quickly. As I think everyone knows, or maybe some don't, the Region 3 administrator is a dairy farmer by background, so she readily understood the importance of this permit and was very supportive, has been, I think the evidence shows that she's been helpful. Our program staff met with EPA program staff at the end of last week just to do a first run through of comments, which indicates they are really moving quickly per our request. So it's been a really good partnership so far, and we're hopeful that I think the time was supposed to be, I think the regional administrator said 45 days, but it's clear that they're pushing to move faster than that. So I applaud her for not over promising, but seeking to over deliver. And I think that's probably it for now on that, except to say that as soon as we get that back, we'll be ready to go forward with a public comment period that will include in-person and online meetings to receive comment from the public. And of course, as soon as that's done, we will respond to those comments and as appropriate and required to incorporate the results of those comments into a final permit.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you, Rick.
Yeah, always a pleasure, sir.
All right. Nancy, did we? No. Okay. Well, just and Nancy can say yay or nay, thumbs up, thumbs down. I'll just give if her audio is not working. The youth center, there was a legislation and funding that was approved to do an assessment on climate impacts to agriculture, and many of you were involved with a number of different workshops and so forth around the state that the youth center kind of facilitated through to look at where we can go from the state and helping provide some resources to farmers who are dealing with climate impacts to their production, whether it was crops, livestock, or whatever it may be. And so they're on the tail end of finalizing a report that will be hopefully a tool that will be able to be used to go to the legislature to, in support of resources to support our agriculture community, our farmers in dealing with climate and dealings throughout the, for the different growing seasons. And I see Nancy put in right. Okay, so looks like as soon as everything is good to go, you'll be hearing more from the youth center on that report. So, all right, thank you. All right, I had asked earlier about new business and heard nothing. Old business, I didn't hear any response. Last call for either one. You do have, hopefully, if you saw the agenda, the meeting schedule coming up. The next subcommittee, this next subcommittee will be meeting on November 6th. Again, probably a virtual meeting. Does anybody have anything else for the good of the group here? Hearing none, do I have a motion to close the meeting?
So moved.
Second? Nancy raises her hand. Anybody opposed? All right. Appreciate everyone being on the call this morning. Thank you very much.